Welcome to my first ever build guide, Icicle Mines of Fanning. It's a very good build, but I have a huge disclaimer from the start. This build is extremely squishy. Anything that will hit you will kill you. At least the way I actually built it. There is a different way to build it that I found online, which is much tankier, much better, in my opinion at least. If you're looking for something that can survive a bunch of hits, that can do tier 17s a little bit more comfortably than the way I built it, it is still gonna die a lot of the time. There's no way around that really, but it can survive much better than the one I have. It will have less damage a little bit, I think. At least with the same amount of investment. This build I only invested 2 divines. This build is pretty easy to actually make, as good as you will be able to see here in the video. So without further ado, let's get into the actual build itself. The current POB, if you look at this, I'm using only 2 cluster jewels, a couple of random jewels. I even have sockets that I didn't put anything in, which is actually the current tree. I have a bunch of other trees in here that will help you through the process itself. And I've added notes here. Some of the notes I got from the build that I was talking about. This is the leveling guide from his guide right here in this video. I actually included his video here, Cyclone Definitive. This was the original actual inspiration for the build, but I didn't follow his build at all. It's better to follow his build in my opinion, at least. Anyway. So as you can see, it's not bad as in leveling and boss damage and clear speed, but as you can see, the defense is non-existent. In the way that I built the thing is basically I'm using the heat shiver, I'm using the body armor to give me +5 levels on the Icicle Mine, basically a +4 Victoria's influence, because I get the +1 and the +4 from the implicit. So +5 in total, which is a huge boost of damage. Basically any levels that I can afford on the skill itself will boost my damage significantly. At the same time, I'm using a Zero Promise to give a little bit of a chaos, elemental damage as chaos, basically to boost the damage a little bit. I'm using the Mark of the Shaper with an Elder item so I can get the increased spell damage from the ring. And the rest of the gear is basically life, evasion, all these shenanigans. I'm also capping as much as I can with the Chaos Res down here, as you can see 70%. I'm not capping it because I really didn't care that much to highly invest in the build itself, but in general, the Chaos dot and the damage over time in general will kill you much easier than anything else, and as you can see, physical damage will demolish you entirely. Anyway, in general, it's a very basic build. I'm using large clusters and medium clusters to give me expert sabotage, guerrilla tactics for the more throwing speed and the damage, and the detonation speed, because that's very important. Detonation speed gives you the edge where you can actually throw stuff and just run away, so you can clear things much faster the more detonation speed you have. In general, at the beginning of the build, I would recommend getting Pierce if you're leveling with Icicle Mine. If you're not leveling with Icicle Mine, just drop Pierce entirely. Other than that, you just take Ricochet for the chain, which helps you a lot in survivability. So basically, if there is a boss in a room, you can throw the mines inside the room and it will kill the boss, and you don't even need to interact with the boss whatsoever. So it's pretty decent, pretty good. There's so many other things that you can do in the build that I'll explain right now, but let me talk about leveling at first. You will start with Caustic Arrow. Everything is here in the guide, you can see. I'll link the POB in the description. You can start with Caustic Arrow a little bit until level 12. Technically on level 12 you can use Icicle Mine, right? But in general, you'll start with Caustic Arrow, then at level 12 you need to swap to Poison Concussion. Poison Concussion, in my opinion, this is the first time I've ever tried it. It's been around for ages, it's been busted for ages, but right now it's so good for leveling through the acts. I didn't even invest in anything, I just went through the acts entirely with Poison Concoctions. until I think I got to level like 50 something, and then I tried explosive concoctions. For me, I was just trying them. I didn't really care about the leveling strat, but it's a very good leveling strat, if you know what I mean. I was trying them. It's a lot of fun and it's very, very good. You can use explosive concussion at level 28. I used it at level 50. I didn't even respec anything into it. I was actually following my own tree already, but it was so good I didn't even need to. But if you follow the tree options here, basically it will guide you through every step of the way from level 1 till level 90 something. There is also the other three variants, the low life variant, the abyss variant, which is, there is two variants of that. The using abyss variant is basically more expensive, but you can still do it in general, but Shroud of Light and the jewels and all that is too expensive for me, so I went with my own way, which is the current gear setup. But there is another way to do this with Calm's Heart. Both options are basically using the Illusion of the Flesh, so in general I didn't feel like I want to do this because the Illusion of the Flesh back when I started playing the character, it was like 2 divines. I didn't have that much at the start of the league, but it should be cheap enough to do now in general. But again, it's not my cup of tea. I didn't like this kind of build. So I went with a different approach, all rare, all cluster jewels, all this kind of damage. And if you want to check, let's see the current setup. My current damage is showing around 3.7 million damage. That is against Guardian and Pinnacle bosses that are chilled. I'm always chilling. It doesn't matter if I chill them or not, actually, but it matters if I freeze them because of the heat shiver that I'm using. But anyway, I don't really do anything in the configuration because I feel like it's cheating if I just boost my damage numbers. But this is a pretty good damage comparative to the amount of money that I spend. If you'd like to go with the other two options, let's say the Abyss endgame, let's go with that for a second. Where is it? Endgame, sure, and Abyss endgame. That option, as you can see, would provide a little bit more damage, a little bit more survivability, but it's so expensive that I just feel like it's not really worth it. With that being said, thank you everyone for being here. Please subscribe. If you have questions, you can post it down in the comments below. Like the video, all this stuff. Also follow me on Twitch. I try to stream as much as I can, but you can get notifications there when I stream.